Now, there's a reason why I'm dragging Wunmi this evening. There's a reason why I'm actually dragging her. Like I said, I was expecting petitions to be flying from Thursday, but none has been out so far. None has been out so far, except Baba coming out on, was it on Friday, on Bukky Jese's platform. And he did what in psychology we call reverse psychology. Let me just explain what reverse psychology is. Reverse psychology is actually a manipulation technique that involves getting people to do something by prompting them to do the opposite. For example, you have your mom or your dad, they might use this kind of term on you. They will say, you probably won't be able to eat all this, you won't be able to eat all this rice. What they're actually telling you is that, don't finish it. That's the meaning. So what Baba actually did was trying to use the public mentality, the public space, in trying to push all these narrations towards Darosha, knowing that he is actually guilty of the crime. He's actually guilty of some crimes that right now I'm going to want my moderator. Once I finish, I would want the first person to address this issue to be Pythagoras, because he's learned on law, and I'm going to make some quotations actually from the Lagos State Coronal law and also from the Nigerian Constitution. So we're going to see how Baba is actually guilty and where we want Wunmi to attack from. If she's willing to seek for justice, if she's willing to clear her name from all manners of guilt, these are the areas, since the toxicology has failed to give us a closure. We're going to talk about that. I don't know if my panelists will be around tomorrow. We could pick after church hours that we're going to take this also for 2 hours. We're going to talk about the toxicology results, what we think about them, what way forward, and the remaining questions that have not been put forward. Why are we dragging women in such manner? Why do we need her to come forth with all legal arsenals, against people that have defamed her personality? Now, I've talked about that. Now, it was said that Baba actually wrote a petition to Zone 2 asking Darosha why he embalmed Mohbad. And this has actually been debunked by the toxicology results, that no embalmment was done on the deceased. That in fact, if embalmment had occurred, that the toxicology results could have been better than what was actually read. Yes, this was what the pathologist said, and that's the pathologist. Hold on, I have his name. That's Professor Shokunle Shoyemi. Professor Shokunle Shoyemi of LASUT. That was what he read out. And we know that we're going to examine the type of toxicology they actually did on the deceased. They talked about they took samples of the bone marrow, kidney, and liver. So I actually had done my investigation of what kind of toxicology can be done on the bone marrow, kidney, and liver, and why were we having an inconclusive or cause of death to be unascertained. So now let's forge ahead. Now, the petition Baba wrote, we are now addressing Wunmi and Darosha. I don't know if you're on this live or if this message would get to you. We would not sit and waste our data for the whole 8 months, and you mind your imprisonment. He does to prison. So let us now say the first thing he said, he doesn't mind anybody. Now he shouldn't mind if he himself faces kirikiri, if he himself is imprisoned in this, because he's actually guilty of some issues. He's the one that brought us here, that he buried the evidence. And didn't allow Nigerians a closure to this issue. He has wasted taxpayers' money. He has wasted the time of our Honorable Governor Babatunde Fashola, who has instituted our taxpayers' money. He has brought it forth for the payment of a Coronal inquest and also the autopsy of Mohbad. And Baba in his statement said once the DNA is done, the next day is going to tell you who and who killed Mohbad. And yesterday he had the effrontery. He had the effrontery to say that it was the boyfriends. And I'm watching. Wumi, what are you doing? If Baba knows your boyfriends, then you should tell him he should be questioned. He should be questioned. He should be taken into account for those statements that it was your boyfriend and Sam Larry that were beaten. And we have videos of what happened at Lekki at that nightclub. We have the likes of Elele and we have the likes of Obele with Sam Larry there. Naira Marley left that club. We have their video, we have the evidences, and we know it's with the police. So I don't know why you are sitting quiet since Wednesday after the toxicology was read, and you've not done anything concerning what your father-in-law said on Friday. I believe on Monday, first thing on Monday, you will report yourself to Zone 2 and make several petitions on your father-in-law if you want justice to be served. If indeed it was your boyfriend that carried out the buying of Mohbad. If you believe that you want to know the cause of your, go and meet those people. Sam Larry should also now be questioned because Baba called his name there. They said Sam Larry and your boyfriends. So if you know you have a boyfriend, bring his name out. If it's Elele or Billy that is your boyfriend, let them come and face Zone 2. Let them come and face the AIG. Petition all of them. And if indeed you don't have a boyfriend like Baba has been claiming, sue him for defamation of character. Let him pay millions for that odd statement, speaking without knowing the legal implications of his statements. We don't want you to sit down, sit quiet anymore. We don't want that from you. We are not asking you to come to social media, but we are telling you that fight with the law. Start attacking with the law. Let us look at what Baba has been doing. He petitioned Darosha that Darosha embalmed Mohbad. The petition was cited in the coronary law of Lagos State, section 16 and section 48, subsection 1. It states, section 16 states, tampering with bodies. There shall be no tampering with the body of a deceased person found lying within a coroner's district, the way of chemical preservation, dismemberment, or disposal by any form, prior to the conduct of a post-mortem examination, except by the prior authorization of the medical examiner. One, in this, we know there was no approval or authorization by any medical examiner. That's number one. Number two, it was done in the coronary districts of Lagos State. Okay, it was done in Lagos State. Now, one, Darosha has been cleared that there was no tampering of the body with any chemical preservation. That is embalmment. Was there dismemberment? The autopsy results confirmed that there was no breaking of neck or the legs, that it was only bent. That has been cleared. But there was there disposal of the body in any form? Yes, there was a burial. When you talk about disposal, the bodies can be disposed in various forms. 1, burial. 2, cremation. 3, burning. And 4, use of acid. Those are ways in which you could actually dispose. We also have one, vaporization. I don't know how that occurs. I've heard about that before. I don't know. Now, if all this had happened, that there is a disposal, but there was no chemical preservation, why is Darosha keeping quiet after Thursday without counter-suing or counter-petitioning Mr. Aloba? Mr. Aloba now came on Friday trying to use what we call reverse psychology on Nigerians for us to start questioning Darosha, for us to start gunning for Darosha. But he never knew in the CTC, which I am going to read very, very soon, he was the person that said himself that he instructed Darosha. He was the person that instructed him to get an ambulance. He was also the person that instructed them to bury him somewhere. He pointed where he was going to be buried. He pointed where they were going to bury him. Now I have read section 16. I'm still going to go to CTC to point out where Baba is. He actually said his deposition that what he wrote down is acceptable as his own evidence. I'm going to show you that, and where he actually instructed them to get an ambulance and also to bury. So that is section 16. We're going to section 48. Pythagoras, I know you are taking notes, and I know you're going to give us submissions, because I have a question after this. Section 48, subsection 1 says, offenses and penalties. Any person who, section 1 now, subsection 1 now, carries out chemical preservation, dismemberment, or disposal of the body of a person who died in circumstances requiring the holding of an inquest under this law without the approval of a coroner shall commit an offense and is liable or conviction to 15 years imprisonment with no option of fine. Who buried Mohbad? Who instructed the burial of Mohbad? We're going to go through the CTC now, and we're going to see the one who instructed them to get an ambulance and who instructed them to bury this boy. He's not a boy, sorry, he's a man. Let's go. I'm going to be, for those that now have the CTC with them, because this is now a public material, so it is no more classified, because some people have called it 2 naira, that you can get 5 copies for 2 naira. Now, if you go to page 26 of page 27 of page 330, he was examined. It says, question, please tell this court your full name. Baba, my name is Joseph Aloba Oluwabamiwo. Where do you live, sir? Question, Baba, I live at number 8 Sele bus stop, Okeletu, Ikorodu. Question, what do you do for a living? Baba, I am a carpenter. Question, do you remember on the 25th day of October 2023, you deposed a written deposition on oath before this court? Do you remember? Baba, yes. Question, if you see the said written deposition, can you recognize it? Baba, yes. Question, please take a look at this copy. Baba, reviews documents. Question, is this your written deposition? Baba, yes. Question, look at the signature. Is that your signature? Baba, it is mine. Question, what do you want to do with that document? Baba, I want it to be adopted as my evidence before these courts. Now we can see that not only did Baba give a testimony at the Coronal inquest, he had a written deposition before the Coronal inquest, that day of Coronal inquest. So now let us go to where this is in page 28 of page 330. Between pages 27 and page 28, that is where he said what he wrote down, he is accepting it as evidence. Now let us now go to where he actually instructed for the ambulance and for also burial. Now we're going to go to page 39. Page 39 of 330. Page 39. Let me read. It says, okay, it says, let me go to the first question, a question before then. Okay. Question, do you know the day that the deceased died? Baba, yes, 12th of September. Question, how did you know? Baba, I got to know around 9:30 p.m. Baba, on that 12th September, question, on that 12th September, Baba, yes, they were calling me that he was okay and I should go back home. And I noticed that the tone of the conversation, so I wanted to know what was happening, and by 9:30, I met his body on the floor and they had blocked the nose and ears. Question, the very first call you got with respect to the deceased, what information were you given? Baba, the call was from his mom and she said Mohbad was in the hospital and they said we should come. But the way she sounded, I said something was wrong and she called me around 4:30 to 5 in the evening. Question, the mother does not live with you? Baba, no. Question, was the mother living with the deceased? Baba, no. Question, did you go to the hospital? Baba shakes head side to side. Question, tell us what happened. Baba, on that very day, when I saw that his body was on the ground, I asked, what happened to him? Was he sick? Question, you got there and you saw the body already dead? Baba, yes. They said they had given him injection and injection reacted on his body, and that was the comment given to me by his wife. Question, you saw the dead body? Baba, yes, at the sitting room in the house. Before, under the staircase now. Nígbà tí Baba dé Coronal, sitting room the Baba changes you, and that is the truth. Question, the house at Agungi, Baba, they had changed from Agungi again to another apartment. Question, what is the address? Go on, when you remember, tell us. You met the body at the house? Baba, yes. Question, and you told us the nose was already blocked? Baba, yes. Question, who blocked the nose? With what? Baba, with cotton wool. Baba, question, who did that? Listen, no. Who blocked the nose with what? Baba, with cotton wool. Question, who did that? Baba, I don't know. Ibalo did Arusha. Did they block the nose? We have a video. Don't worry. I'll show you the evidence. Who did that? I don't know. Question, who certified him dead? Baba, I don't know who said it, but they were deceiving me on the phone that he was all right and I should go back home. Firstly, they said I should come to one hospital at Osapa, London. And when I got to the bus stop, I was at Osapa, London now. But they told me that I should go back home, that he was all right. But what I had heard before didn't make me believe, and I wanted to see him. When I got there at 9:30 p.m., I met his dead body on the floor. Question, have you seen the death certificate? Yesterday. Washing up a death certificate. Question, have you seen the death certificate? Baba, no. Question, so you do not know the cause of death? Baba, not head up and down. Question, this was 12th of September 2023. Baba, not heads up and down. Question, who were the people you met in the house? Baba, the people I met there were up to 100. Let me mention them. I met Anya, a musician. I met Davido's representative, Zlatan, and many more. The crowd was full up there, and Mohbad's lawyer. Everyone was there. They had heard, but I did not hear anything. Question, you don't know who prepared the body? Listen, no. Question, you don't know who prepared the body? Baba, I do not know. I'm repeating this question again. Question, you don't know who prepared the body? Baba, I do not know. But I know his wife would be able to explain because she was there. The court, and you did not make inquiry? Baba, at all. They did not call me. The court, you did not do your findings? Baba, I did not do any finding. Please, Pythagoras, please unblock yourself, unmute yourself. Are you listening?
Yes, I'm here.
Did you listen to Baba's interview with Buki yesterday when he was trying to pin everything on Darosha?
Yeah, I listened to it.
Now you can see that the CTC is actually contrary to whatever he was saying yesterday.
He's a pathological liar.
No problem. Let me continue reading, sir. I just want you to follow me and you see the differences. I'll read again. Question, you don't know who prepared the body? Baba, I do not know, but I know his wife will be able to explain because she was there. The court, and you did not make any inquiry? Baba, at all. They did not call me. The court, you did not do your findings? Baba, I did not do any finding. The court, you saw your son lying down there and you did not ask any question? Baba, the question I asked was what happened, what led to his death, and they said it was the reaction of the injection given to him. Mr. A.A. George, where was the deceased buried? Baba, he was buried at Berigbe. Question, who buried him? Baba, I was the one who pointed that they should bury him there. Question, Berigbe again, who buried him? Baba, I was the one Who pointed that they should bury him there? Question. Berigba is in Ikorodu here. Baba, yes. Question. The house where you saw the corpse was in Lekki. Baba, yes. Question. So, who moved the body to Berigbe? Baba, on that night, Davido's representative sent money to me, and I gave it to one of his followers, one of them that follows Mohbad. He received the money, and I instructed him to call ambulance. Oh, Dukia, please, I don't know who has that recording of Baba with Buki Jesse. He said he doesn't know anything, that it was Darusha that arranged the ambulance. In the CTC, in his testimony at the Coronal inquest, look at the question again. Question. So who moved the body to Berigbe? Baba, on that night, Davido's representative sent money to me, and I gave it to one of his followers, one of them that follows Mohbad. He received the money, and I instructed him to call ambulance. After calling the ambulance, luckily the ambulance man was a doctor also, and he checked, and we decided to go to the police station, and we spent like 3 hours at the police station. Now we have cleared two things. Baba instructed the movement of the evidence by telling Darusha, instructing Darusha to get an ambulance. Baba was also the one that instructed them to bury him so and so place. According to the Coronal law of Lagos State, that is a crime subject to 15 years imprisonment. Wumi, if you are not a daft person, your father-in-law is doing everything possible for you to be held for murder charges. It is now time for you to attack back with the law. Your father-in-law has evidences, not your own evidence. The Coronal inquest has heard evidences from him. He has signed a disposition. He also said with his mouth, orally, that he was the person that instructed Darusha. What are you waiting for? Now, that's about the CTC. There are also some offenses by Baba. I am coming to the question to Pythagoras. The next thing is this. According to section 246 of the Criminal Code Act, Cap 17, Law of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, it states thus: any person who, without the consent of the president or the governor, buries or attempts to bury any corpse in any home, building or premises, yard, garden, compound, or within 100 yards of any dwelling house or any open space situated within a township is guilty of a misdemeanor and is liable to imprisonment for 6 months. We have 15 years. We have 6 months. Let's go ahead. Another one. Felony charges. Offenses are of 3 kinds, namely, I'm reading section 3 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria. Division of offenses. Offenses are of 3 kinds, namely felony, misdemeanor, and simple offenses. A felony is any offense which is declared by law to be a felony or is punishable without proof of previous conviction, with death or with imprisonment for 3 years or more. A misdemeanor is any offense which is declared by law to be a misdemeanor or is punishable by imprisonment for not less than 6 months but not less than 3 years. All offenses other than felonies and misdemeanor are simple offenses. Why did I bring this one up? Sorry. Why did I bring that one up? Oh, okay. Now, Section 509 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria, punishment of attempts to commit felonies. Any person who attempts to commit a felony, when felony is mentioned, it means lying just because you want the conviction of another person. Any person who attempts to commit a felony of such a kind that a person convicted of, it is liable to the punishment of death or of imprisonment for a term of 14 years or upwards, with or without other punishments, is guilty of a felony and is liable, if no other punishment is provided, to imprisonment for 7 years. 7 plus 15 plus 6 months. Any person who attempts to commit a felony of any other kind is liable, if no other punishment is provided, to a punishment equal to 1/2 of the greatest punishments which an offender convicted of the felony which he attempted to commit is liable. This is Section 509 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria. Lastly, according to Section 117 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria, we have what is called perjury. Any person, sorry, this is the last one, Pythagoras. Any person who in any judicial proceeding, please let us listen carefully. We already have 15 years. We have 7 years. We have 15 years for him bearing bearing mohbad without a post-mortem examination. That's 15 years. We have 7 years for felony when you're trying to lie under the oath. There was no pool of blood because we don't. There was a superficial wound. There was no external wound that there was stabbing or things like that. So we have evidence of the clot in question. The clot in question will be used as an evidence if this proceeds to trial. That's one. So for him to lie that he saw a pool of blood, we are waiting. 7 years is waiting. For 15 years for him bearing the evidence, 15 years for that. 6 months for him not getting an authorization from the local government that has the governor's authorization or the president's own, for him to bury in an unmarked grave. We have 15 plus 7 plus 6 months. Now we have Section 117 of the Criminal Code Act in Nigeria, perjury. And any person who in any judicial proceeding or for the purpose of instituting any judicial proceeding knowingly gives false testimony touching any matter which is material to any question then spending in that proceedings or intended to be raised in that proceeding is guilty of an offense which is called perjury. It is immaterial whether the testimony is given an oath or under any other sanction authorized by law, whether it's by newspaper, whether it's by press. If you lie, even if it is not under oath, if you lie, it is still called perjury. The forms and ceremonies used in administering the oath or in otherwise binding the person giving the testimony to speak the truth are immaterial if he assents to the forms and ceremonies actually used. It is immaterial whether the false testimony is given orally or in writing. It is immaterial whether the court or tribunal is properly constituted or is held in the proper place or not. If it is actually acts of as a court or tribunal in the proceeding in which the testimony is given. It is immaterial whether the court who gives the testimony is a competent witness or not, or whether the testimony is admissible in the proceeding or not. The offender cannot be arrested without warrant. Section 118 of the Criminal Code Act, Nigeria. Any person who commits perjury is liable to imprisonment for 14 years. If the offender commits the offense in order to procure the conviction of another person for an offense punishable with death or with imprisonment for life, he is liable to imprisonment for life. So we have two choices: 14 years or imprisonment for life. In this case, it is a case in which they are saying that Wunmi kpai her husband, and for you to kpai somebody, that is a first degree murder. It is punishable with death in Nigeria. And if you are committing perjury just because you are lying for the person to be to face the capital punishment, your punishment for such perjury is imprisonment for life. Now my question is this to my panelists, and this goes first to Pythagoras. We have listed crimes that we know and we have evidences for that Mr. Aloba has been committing. Wunmi has kept silent all this while, and we are now at the urge of we dragging her that she must use her legal team to ensure that this does not go unnoticed. We can't be here for 7 to 8 months talking at the top of our lungs and she just watching us because this man is her father-in-law. She wants to, I have a son, I don't want him to grow up and know that, oh, I did this to his grandfather and this, that. We say we don't want that. We want the son to grow up and say, Mommy, thank you for not being a coward. My question now to Pythagoras is this. The 15 years for deposition of for bearing mohbad, the evidence, the 7 years for lying, felony charges, the 6 months for burying in an unmarked grave, and the imprisonment for life of 14 years for perjury. Are these terms to run concurrently, or they will be handled as a single offense? That's my question to you, sir.
Usually they will have to run concurrently if they are being charged, if all the charges are brought together. But that doesn't stop the state from charging him after he has finished a particular sentence, that's just sentence. That doesn't stop them from charging him for another crime they feel he has committed, or they can prove that he has committed, and he will then serve the jail time for that. So if now we have enough evidence that this man has committed an offense and is going for 15 years, if upon conviction and serving his state, after serving his jail term, they can now maybe have an evidence now comes up and is now being charged for another crime again, that will not stop them. All what they cannot do is charge him for the same crime at a separate time, because that will become what we call double jeopardy. But if it comes to light that he's committed another offense, or even a previous offense that we had no evidence of, if the evidence now comes to light, they can still charge him for it after serving any other jail time he might have served.
But Pythagoras, you can still add to what have said, and I don't know if you could also encourage Wunmi that it is right time for her to take the bull by the horns, because enough of all this my father-in-law. It's we don't want the Mrs. Nice Girl, Mrs. Aloba again. We want the Adebanjo. Please, over to you, sir.
Yes, most people would know my stand from the beginning. I keep saying it in a subtle way, like someone comes to your house and they sit down in your living area because your door was open, and they keep going through your stuff and all that until you take a step to curb the actions, until you take a step to stop them, leg a step to stop them. Then, in a way, they have not committed an offense until that moment. That word, disposal of the body, if it's confusing to you, now link it up with that section 58, where you have burial, which says disposal of the corpse or the human remains by burying it in the ground. Is that what was done to Mohbad? Yes. So that section 48 has prescribed a 15 years jail term for anybody who carries that act. And also there's what we call undue influence and duress in law, because he might want to add under the fact that he point to the place, he gave instructions. That is like you conducting to dig the ground, regardless of you telling somebody move this from here to that. You gave the instruction, and because you have influence over these people. Because you have influence over these people, you have put them under undue duress. So whatever acts, whatever thing anybody might want to term crime or association they have done in that regard, because you were the one giving this instruction and you have this influence over them, they will be absolved of any form of crime you might think they've committed in that particular act. And everything comes back to your table. You gave the instruction, you have the influence, you took charge, and at your discretion, they were operating. So 15 years plus 3 years of taking it to the mortuary, if he actually did that, and 6 months for burying it in a place not designated by the Lagos State or not getting approval, burying him in a residential area. That's another 6 months there. So all this together, the sad part is that yes, it's going to serve them concurrently. If he's charged if the evidence was brought to court and charged for all these things together, it will serve them concurrently. So it probably serve the highest one there, maybe 15 years. But now going back to Wunmi, it is time you take action, because great crimes, grievous crimes have been committed and has been spearheaded by this man, Josie. It is time you take the bold step. It is time you put on the boxing glove, because you need to fight for yourself, you need to fight for your son. He has taken away your rights. He has broken into your home, broken into your privacy, taking stuff. He had no right to do all this, but he has taken it upon himself to do all these things. It is now left for you to either decide if you are going to give him a pass on this. Meanwhile, you need to know that if you give him a pass for this, then he's going to get a pass for every other atrocities he might have committed. It is no longer a playing time. It's now time for you to let them know, to let the whole world know, you need to enforce the rights of Mohbad. He's entitled to a dignified burial. He's entitled to his own dignity, even after death. And you can enforce that right for him. It is in your place to enforce that right on behalf of Liam. So it's not just about what is convenient for you this time around. Yeah, it might not be convenient for you to come out against your father-in-law this way. It might not be convenient for you. But for the sake of posterity, for the sake of history, for the sake of other women passing through this kind of predicament, you need to stand up now and act. Also talking about perjury, counseling somebody to fabricate information, to lie under oath, is also an offense on its own. Within that section 117 to 120. It's not just the person committing the perjury. It's not just the person who went to court and said, oh, I'm sorry I lied under oath. No, sorry will not cut it. Also, whoever might have gotten themselves involved in coaching you, in counseling you, say this, while knowing those are false statements, they are also as guilty as you are under the law. And the same jail time applies to everybody who has participated in this act of perjury. So we have now moved beyond knowing what killed Mohbad. We are now at the stage of knowing what people have done and bringing them to book on their acts during the life, the death, and after death of Mohbad. They need to be called to question. Those who have committed offenses, we need to write petition against them. And the only person that can spear that is you, Wunmi Aloba. That is you. you will be the one to spearhead this, all this petition, all this action, so that this kind of thing does not continue to happen in our society. It is about time we put a stop to all this. Thank you, guys.
Okay,
over to you. Please let other people to comment, please.
Yeah, I'll take it from the top. Freedom, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I am. But what I actually just wanted to ask, I think, is what Pythagoras mentioned. Because I know in the case of the other camp, we have people who call themselves concerned citizen, taking up actions, filing, writing petition on behalf of Mr. Aloba. And I'm just thinking, what if, is it possible that in our place we also have people who come out to do same thing? Yes, we only need her to sign wherever it's necessary. Is it doable? Pythagoras?
Yeah, it is doable, and that's why I said eventually she'll still be the one to spearhead it, because on most of these things, our consent is required, our signature is required, our go-ahead is required. Otherwise, it will be dead on arrival.
Okay, so all we need is to get her to consent and be a party to this. Because if our legal team are not ready, can we constitute something on our own part, like a group and whatever? Because yes, there's no way she can do this all by herself in terms of finances and all. So wherever we need to come in at this point, we should just do that and set the ball rolling. I was on the other platform now, just snooping, and I'm hearing them saying they should fire on all cylinder. I mean, if people who are already down, totally down to this point, still want to fire at what cylinder, I don't know, then we are the aggrieved should not sleep. We should wake up and start getting things done. Thank you.
Thank you, Freedom. Dupsy, are you there?
Yeah. Thank you. I think Mr. Pythagoras has said most of the things. Wunmi needs to get up now, stand up like a warrior she is. She needs to buckle herself up and start to fight. She needs to get up first before others will follow. The likes of to whatever they have. If we keep silent now, that means it's not going to be easy for her, because Mr. Aloba wants to put her in prison for what she knows nothing about. So Wunmi, my advice to you now is to get up, stand up for yourself and your son, stand up for other widows too. Stand up now and make the necessary effort to bring Mr. Aloba to book. He has done so much, and this needs to stop now. So you need to stand up. That's what we have. What we are telling you now. She needs to be a fighter now. No more crying. No more weeping. No more mourning. Get up on your feet now. By Monday, we should expect to start seeing some things in place. It is now or never. If you don't do it now, Mr. Aloba is ready to put you in prison. Put that at the back of your mind. You need to get up now and fight the fight now. He said, so take it off from there.
Right. Okay. 1 minute.
Yeah. Duspi just said that okay, she should rise up, which I agree with. What I just wanted to add is whether or not she's initiating the fight, she will still have to be fighting, because as it is, this man is not resting anytime soon. So why not be the one initiating the fight? Because he is still fighting. He said so. That's it.
Thank you. Benevolence, are you there?
Yeah. Firstly, if you don't do anything concerning what your father-in-law is doing, is more or less giving a blank check to somebody to keep on trampling on. For all the interviews he has granted, you all right over Josie to bury your husband in the way. Enough of it. He has put on the boxing glove. The same right he has is the same right you yourself. Forget about maybe he's older than you, because I know Africans, they will say, oh, Agbalagba can do this, the younger one cannot do this. Enough of that. It's high time you stand up for yourself because of prosperity's sake. Because all those that I've heard about that, if you don't stand up for yourself, it's like you've admitted to all what Josie has said. It's not stopping anytime soon. It's still going to keep going because people are still giving him money. People trust him. So bad. He doesn't want the money to stop anytime soon.
You have to stand up. You have to fight for yourself. You have to fight for Liam. You have to fight for the death of your husband. Josie has done. What else would he do to you? He has taken all the rights that you have from you. He has tried to mock you in the presence of the whole world. It deprived you of that one thing that you are supposed to do for your husband. Get the autopsy done the way and the right way it should be done. Bury him the right way that it should be done, so that Liam can always go there and see, this is where my father was being buried. So that you can, when you bury someone in a very nice way, you have the last picture. But the picture you're going to have now, you cannot have the good picture of Mohbad anymore. You have to fight for his dead soul. This man, ṣe fún yín, ṣe oríṣiríṣi fún yín gbà tọ́pọ̀ ẹ̀ wà ní ayé. Ó lè jẹ́ kó tún wá ṣe the same thing gbà tọ́pọ̀ ẹ̀ ti kú. Kò lè jẹ́ máyé, Josie ti jẹ́ ayé tó máa jẹ, ó dẹ̀ ń jẹ́ lọ́wọ́, wọ́n dẹ̀ ń fún jẹ. But Wunmi, you cannot, ó lè jẹ́ kí Josie jẹ́ máyé mọ́. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Thank you, Chobimi. Mommy Yemishito, you have 1 minute, please. Okay. Mr.
I'm here.
We have other things that we need to quickly talk about. You can go on with your submission.
I appreciate everyone that has talked so far, and I want to address my talk to Wunmi. Wunmi, if you are here or you are going to hear this later, please, as everyone has said, stand up and take your rightful place, rightful position. Please, Wunmi, we are calling on you, even as your lovers. God has used so many wonderful people to stay with you, to back you up. Please don't throw it all our efforts. See what Mr. Dawa has gone through. See the wealth of knowledge Pythagoras has been able to share this afternoon. Please don't throw all this our effort. Don't throw it back at our face. Don't let them say, you understand? Please take up and do the right thing. Go to the police station. It doesn't cost you anything. You are a citizen of Nigeria. If you need any money, people are there to assist you. Please do the rightful one. You call on your late husband spirits to not to mass, not to sleep. Of course, it's not sleeping. That is why everyone, all of us are behind you now. It's because your husband is not sleeping. You understand? But your husband cannot come in person because it's not a ghost. You understand? So he has used so many people to be fighting your battle. So you have to stand up. So you have to stand up and do the right thing. People are behind you. You understand? Even Josie, that is even fighting a blind battle, he was still standing up. He was still standing up. Despite the fact that the whole world knows that what he was doing was not the right thing. Not to talk of you that has not only you and Liam. So that is the two of you are the only family that Mohbad left behind. Please, so you can your son, if you are not doing it for yourself, do it for your son, so Liam can have free access to work freely. When his accuser has been put behind the bar, so people will see that indeed this man is the one, and the Josie is the one that is at fault. So give your son the freedom to work freely, either in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. Please do the right thing, and I'm calling on the Nigerian government. Please, we need the arrest of Joseph Aloba. Nigerian government, if you are hearing me, please, we need the arrest of Joseph Aloba. Joseph Aloba bring down our government, our Nigerian government, our police. He has brought them down. He has painted them in black color to the whole world. Please, we need you, our government, to call on the arrest of Joseph Aloba. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. Please, I'd just like to pass an information before we go on. Please, if anyone has said any submission that we want to give, we can just say, oh, seconded by I second so person, and just give about 1 or 2 lines so that we can save time to do other things.